welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about today's video. We're going to be taking an in-depth look at my Harley Quinn cosplay from the movie Suicide Squad. This video was originally created and filmed for my Patreon. So if you're interested in gaining access to exclusive content and first looks at project updates and photo sets, check out the link in the description below.
Harley Quinn.
I know that there's a pretty big divide among Harley fans. The Suicide Squad movie either was an awesome design for Harley or it absolutely destroyed her. I really loved her design, and while I never meant to make a statement with the recolored design that I chose, that's what I feel ended up happening. I can't tell you how many comments I've gotten that mention that the red and black design is how she should have looked in the Suicide Squad movie. Like, really, I've gotten a lot of those comments. Anyways, the idea for this came from a closet cosplay that I did for Wizard World OKC back in 2017. So at the con, my haphazardly thrown together cosplay was really well received, and I figured, why not actually do the whole thing? And so, that journey began. I'm gonna do my best to also talk about all the different upgrades and renditions this cosplay has had, because yikes, I might forget some. We'll see. So we're going to start from the bottom of the cosplay and work our way up. The boots were made by Lazaretto Cosplay over on Instagram, and they are honestly in my top 3 favorite pieces of this cosplay. She was a dream to work with, and not only did she get them to me in time for me to compete in the full cosplay, but she was also to custom make them to fit my large calves, which is something I've always struggled with. Finding boots that fit me is a pain in the butt. The heels are based on the 130mm heels created by Jeremy Scotts in association with Adidas. This means that they're about 5 inches tall. I'm already 5'10". In these heels, y'all, I tower over people. I tower over them. Moving on to the next part of the cosplay is the fishnets and the tights. Now, I've actually made tattoo tights that were screen accurate in the past. I just accidentally ruined them when I was trying to modify them to fit her Birds of Prey tattoo. So this is still a piece that I need to remake. I took fabric ink and literally had the tights on, and I spent about 30 minutes hunched over in my chair, hand painting each tattoo into place. The way that I got them in the right positions was that I printed temporary tattoos at my house, put those on my legs, and then used those as a template to then paint over. It was quite a process. I'm not necessarily looking forward to doing it again, but it really helps the cosplay come together, so I will do it again eventually. Now, let's touch briefly on fishnets before moving on to the core of the costume. Fishnets are honestly the worst thing ever. They're horrible, especially in a cosplay where the sequins snag on everything. I can't tell you how many pairs of fishnets I have gone through in this cosplay alone. It's frustrating. Oh, look, there's a sequin. Now moving on to the core of the cosplay, the actual clothing bit. These bottoms are 100% made by me, again with the assistance of both Lazaretto Cosplay and Divine Creations Cosplay. Lazaretto Cosplay was a godsend in helping source material to use, and Divine Creations helped walk me through how to get it lined properly. These bottoms are actually one of my very first 3, I think, articles of clothing that I've sewn 100% on my own, and I'm insanely proud of them. They are not comfortable to wear. I forgot to trim my seams, and I broke at least 3 needles sewing the sequins. It was scary. Sequined fabric like this is crazy expensive, so it'll probably be a while before I remake these. One fun fact about these sequined bottoms is that the back of this red mesh is actually hand-painted black, because in the movie, the mesh that the sequins are on is a black mesh. That was hand-painted with watered-down fabric ink as well. There is a YouTube video all about just these sequined bottoms that I will pop a clicky link to in the description, but also in, what are they called, annotations? I don't know, I'll link it. So going from bottom to top, the next piece would probably be the belt. I bought this off of Amazon and would love to make my own that actually fits me lower on the hips like it does in the movie. You know, perhaps another thing to put off until I can afford to buy all of her stuff to completely upgrade her. It's just a little too small to be across my hips comfortably. And so that's what I'm going to fix if and when I get around to fully upgrading her. I want to talk about the shirt next. I feel like I found this shirt and bought it in a fever dream, because I swear to you, the listing for this shirt on Amazon does not exist anymore. Like a lot of the cosplay, the shirt is also on the list of things to remake. I managed to find a place that sells the proper fabric, so I'm hoping to be able to sew it from scratch and use proper RIT dye instead of tie-dye like I did on this shirt. Yes, tie-dye and fabric paint is how I got the red on the shirt and the black here. When I remake it, I'm planning on using RIT dye for the red and fabric ink for the stripes. Fingers crossed. The logo was originally sublimated onto the shirt by Kinley's Creations, a local t-shirt company, and then I hand inked over it using the same fabric ink that I used on the tattoo tights to make it stand out a bit more. The collar was cut out, which I probably won't do again. I'll just make the shirt have a wider collar than a crew cut, because this is just too wide. The torso of the shirt was also shortened slightly, but I just couldn't bring myself to make the other cuts in the shirt. So let's do the glove and the wrist cuffs first, before we move on to other parts. Finding the gloves was like some stroke of luck, because again, I can't seem to find the listing for them. I only needed the left glove because that's really all you see her wear in Suicide Squad, so I ended up giving one of my friends the other one for her to use in one of her Harley mashup cosplays, which turned out amazing. The original glove was, of course, red and blue, with the official branding on the Velcro strap here, but as you can see, I definitely changed all of that. The red got to stay. I used black leather paint to paint over the blue part of the glove. If the light hits it just right, you can actually still see bits of blue, but it's all good. I used leather paint because I needed something that was flexible and that would be able to move with the glove without cracking like acrylic paint would. I think it took 3 or 4 coats, and I'll probably touch it up at some point, just like everything else about this cosplay, apparently. Okay, so the next parts are these 2 sets of wrist cuffs. I have to turn them inside out to store them so that they don't puncture the plastic material that I store the costume in. So, the spikes, which are these. I love my spike cuffs. And the Yes Sir set. In the movie, the ones Margot wore were different from what I have here, and I'm trying to decide if I want to go back to the other kinds of spiked cuffs that I had before or not. I like these because they snap into place and rarely move around, so I guess I'll make that decision when I get to that point. The Yes Sir cuffs in the movie are purple. I don't know why, but they are purple with a red and blue color scheme. So obviously I didn't want purple to go with my red and black color scheme that I was going for, so I managed to find a pair of black cuffs on eBay for around $15, I think, something like that. All right, what's left? Jewelry, makeup, face tattoos, the jacket, and the wig. I think the jewelry, makeup, and face tattoos will be quick to cover, so I'll do that, and then the jacket, then the wig. Yay! So the jewelry. I never got the long ring that she wears in the movie, but I don't really mind. I think I do want to find a good replica of it, along with the earpieces, like the one with all the safety pins. It's just difficult because my ears are gauged and normal earrings don't work in them. Luckily though, my ears are double pierced. So in the past, I've been able to use the double piercing to anchor earrings down that curve along the ear. One of these days, I'll get the gorgeous ones that you can find on Etsy, but I have used the Hot Topic ones in the past. Unfortunately, the safety pin earpiece shattered after a con, and I was so sad. I don't have any of the Suicide Squad jewelry to showcase, but I do have plans to upgrade them when I get to it. On to makeup and face tattoos. I'm a firm believer in BH Cosmetics, NYX Cosmetics, and Ben Nye Makeup. I also use a setting spray that's the Kat Von D brand, but only because I paid for it and I'm gonna finish using it because it was expensive. I use this pretty cheap brush set that I got on Amazon for less than $15, and it works really well. I use eyeliner for the heart tattoo most times, unless I actually printed out enough hearts to use. Then I use that along with the temporary tattoo for the rotten across her jawline. To get them to really stay well, I use Prozaid, which is honestly a lifesaver. I have super sensitive skin and I'm 100% not okay with spirit gum. So when Stubby Tumps told me about this and BH Cosmetics, it was a complete game changer. The tattoos are printed using temporary tattoo paper and a regular printer. I get the tattoo paper from Hobby Lobby when they have it in stock, and yeah, they're the only craft store within 30 to 45 minutes. So they're really all I've got. Or Amazon if I do have the time to wait. This choker is a bit of a Frankenstein's monster at this point. I took the letters of one choker and put it on the strap of another that I liked better. I used Color Shot spray paint to paint the strap gold, and then I actually had a 3D printed lock to go here on the back. When I competed in this costume at Tulsa Pop Culture Expo in November of 2019, but I had to break it off because I super glued it in place the day of the convention. Good idea? No. Did I place? Yes. So, worth it. And now for the jacket. Fanfare, applause, awe and wonder. No? Just me then? That's okay. I'm totally fine with still being absolutely in awe that I was able to do something like this jacket. Divine Creations Cosplay helped me out with this, making sure that I cut the right sides, the right color, making sure that this inside pocket was big enough for snacks. The back of the jacket here, all of this detail is hand embroidered. And I don't mean like hand guiding a machine to embroider it. No, I mean I sat on and off for over 50 hours to hand stitch the embroidery detailing on this jacket. It's all some kind of satin except for the cuffs, the part around the bottom, and the collar. That's made of rib knit and it's a little flimsier than I wish it was, but honestly, for my first jacket, it ain't bad. If I ever remake this though, and that's a big if I ever remake this, I will find somebody with an embroidery machine. Man. Anyways, moving on to the small details, like this beautiful J. It's 3D printed and painted gold, and then I glued little rhinestones to it to mimic the charm from the jacket Margot wore in the movie. And now for the wig. If you've been following my cosplay adventure for any length of time, you are probably aware, at least, of my many Harley Quinn wigs. I've got yellow blonde, red and black, pigtails, red and black split dye, Birds of Prey, pink and blue, ×2, Suicide Squad, pink and blue, and Suicide Squad, red and black. And that's just the ones that I've kept. I've probably bought and sold, or accidentally destroyed, another 3 to 5 wigs beyond those listed. This wig I'm extremely proud of, but I think I want to add a little bit of a curl to it when I go back and do an overhaul of the costume. So that the pigtails aren't as straight, I would like to add a little bit of a curl back to it. One final piece that I definitely didn't forget about is my holster with her Rhino revolver. Now, the base of the holster I did buy on Amazon, but I had to remake this part because it was just way too small. I actually need to go in and stitch down right here because you can see like that's where the revolver hits, and I don't need this little flimsy point. The revolver itself is 3D printed and hand painted. All of these squiggles are hand painted. All of the little tally marks are hand done. Both the squiggles and the tally marks are done with a toothpick to get that good level of detail in there. And then of course we printed the tip here in orange so that it's very clear that it is a fake revolver. So that's my Suicide Squad Harley Quinn red and black recolor cosplay. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want in on exclusive content and behind the scenes content, consider joining my Patreon. It means the world to me every time someone new joins the community. Remember, cosplay is just for fun. It's just a bunch of nerds being nerds doing nerdy stuff. Have fun with it. Do your best. I'll see you lovelies in my next video. And until then, bye-bye.